Yo guys, what is up? Moxie here with another video, and today we're going to be going over my top 5 most anticipated looter shooters that are expected to launch in 2026. Now, looter shooters are my favorite genre. It is unfortunately a bit of a cursed genre. We've had some of the biggest flops in in like the gaming industry in the looter shooter genre, things like Anthem, things like Redfall. So it is a bit cursed, but I still love it to death. I've done a fair bit of research for this list, and I kind of wanted to showcase some games that maybe you haven't heard of that are upcoming, that are looter shooters or looter shooter-like games that I think you should keep your eye out on. I hope you guys enjoyed the list and the breakdown. Let's do this.
Save what remains.
Welcome aboard, Throngar.
So coming in at our number 5 spot is Canyons. Now this is definitely one of the more unique looking games. It's kind of got this medieval crusader look, but on steampunk engine ships setting across the desert, fighting crazy looking monsters. This one definitely caught my eye. Now, in the harsh world of Canyons, faith and a rifle alone won't save you. Even the mightiest warriors of the Double Cross know that true strength lies in brothers in arms. You can join forces with other crusaders, forge pacts with awakened entities, and build alliances with factions across the waste to grow stronger together. You, as a crusader, have your own personal skills, and you can also master dozens of professions, each improving your character in unique ways and unlocking new paths for survival. When you're mowing down hordes of enemies, don't forget your morals. The canyons are a cruel place and hard choices await. What will you do with a dying survivor begging for water? Offer mercy, bring him to your haven, rob him, leave him for the awakened, or eat him yourself. Decide as you will, but every act has consequences. Another interesting aspect of Canyons that sets it apart is your crawler. We don't have too many details on this, but it looks like this kind of steampunk ship that you can craft and upgrade its different components. You can add different armors, chassis, engines, as well as upgrading its guns and defenses. And this seems like a main way that you're going to be traversing through the game. You're not like stuck on the ship, but you can use it to travel from area to area. And not only are you going to be progressing your character and becoming more powerful, but you're also going to be progressing your crawler. Some of the gameplay that they showcased for Canyons, which is very much alpha gameplay, showcased using a poison pistol with damage numbers that were spreading to enemies. Definitely a cool looking game. Definitely has a ways to go, but one to keep an eye out for. The next game on our list is Project LLL/Cinder City. Now, if you're wondering what the naming convention is, this game was originally debuted as Project LLL. I actually included it in a most anticipated looter shooter video, and it since got delayed and renamed. It's now Cinder City. And this is going to be an open world MMO looter shooter that is supposed to come out later in 2026 in the second half. Now, you play as a knight, which is a cybernetically enhanced soldier that can clear the way for regular fighters, and it's going to feature a full single-player campaign. They said that the campaign is going to be 10 to 15 hours. You can play it solo, or you can play it cooperatively with friends. And it's featuring a lot of influence from games like Tom Clancy's The Division, and also it seems like The First Descendant. Now, the reason I say The First Descendant is in some more recent interviews, we've gotten more details about the game. It does sound like they are going for a First Descendant style of characters. They said there's going to be 9 to 7 like heroes on launch, and these heroes have different skills, ultimate abilities, and exclusive gear that you can earn on them. You're going to bring these different characters into different scenarios and different fights. They said they're not going for a traditional like trinity of MMO where you have like a DPS, a healer, depending on what gear and what build you make is going to determine kind of what role that you can fit. And there is going to be build crafting. They said that not only will the gear have different rarities and tiers to them, but there'll also be skill trees and different specific pieces of gear that you can get to tailor fit to your different character. So like they said that there is a one of the like knights is able to pull out a sword in his ultimate ability. So obviously any gear that you're getting for him, you're getting like a legendary sword that would be specific to that character. Now, besides the actual campaign and the open world, what is there to do? They talked about dungeons and dynamic open world bosses. They are trying to have a fleshed out endgame that is going to be focusing on two different kind of aspects. They mentioned in an interview with WCCFtech.com that their aim on building world bosses, which are going to be a big part of the game, is to not just have stationary bullet sponges that you fire at, and they want to have the bosses to have a different variety of patterns that you need to strategize and outmaneuver to take down. They're also focusing on endgame dungeons. They said that the second instance of the content that you'd be going against besides the boss fights is going to be instance dungeons that require a certain number of players to join and matchmake to start, and you'll try to strategize to break through the instance dungeons in the underground subway areas, things like that. Instance dungeons and additional PvE boss fights would be our main endgame for launch. On paper, it sounds like they're going to be doing some pretty cool things with Cinder City. I am going to be honest, though, I'm a little bit skeptical about the game just from the gameplay. It looks a little rigid. The frame rate looks not great, and there's definitely some layers of jank. So hopefully by the time that this game comes out, it'll be more polished experience, and that is definitely one to keep an eye out for.
The witch tightens her grip on the realm, birthing new horrors to guard her dominion. But the prayer walks willingly into the dark. For every expedition is a step toward her undoing.
The next game on our list is Witchfire. Now, you can actually go play Witchfire right now. I've put a fair bit of hours into the game, actually. But it's supposed to be launching into its 1.0 this year. It's been early access up to then. If you haven't been lucky enough to try Witchfire, Witchfire is a first-person dark fantasy RPG shooter in which you play as a wicked sinner turned witch hunter on his final mission to reach salvation. Now, Witchfire definitely leans more into the roguelite genre than any of the other games on this list. However, it has some real persistent progression in terms of your weapons and your gear. As you play Witchfire and as you kill enemies on the map, you'll earn resources that you can kind of extract with you. There's no PvP, it's not an extraction shooter, but you kind of have to make a decision on, if you're holding on to a bunch of currency, if it's time to leave, if you want to go push the final boss. There's multiple areas, tons of different weapons, spells, and ways to customize your loadout, and your loadout is persistent with you. So if you get a really cool perk on your revolver, or if you get a new spell, you can bring that with you every adventure that you go on, and as you go and do more missions, you'll get more options, more perks, more level ups, and there's progression in the game, not only in like buying gear and getting new abilities, but also in the fact that there's like kind of requirements like, oh, you might need to get like 75 kills with this weapon to unlock a new perk. And as you play, the build crafting and abilities really expand. You could go like a full melee build if you really wanted to fully invest into your spells, or go for a gunslinger vibe. It's really fun, it's really pretty, and it's such a cool little atmosphere. Coming in our number 2 spot is The Cube. Now, The Cube is set in the Atomic universe. It's being developed by Mundfish, who, if you did not know, made Atomic Heart. I personally really enjoyed Atomic Heart. It's a very unique world setting with cool gameplay. And The Cube is looking to bring kind of Atomic Heart's gameplay, crazy enemies, and style into an MMO FPS looter shooter style game. Now, the story of The Cube is the world stands on the brink of a new threat. A mysterious giant levitating structure known as the Cube has become the epicenter of an increasingly dangerous phenomenon, and in order to survive humanity, players must plunge deep into its secrets and survive. On the surface, it's a perfect object, and in truth, it's an anomalous shifting place swarming with vicious enemies. But most terrifying of all is the equation hidden at the cube's core. Deciphering the equation can save humanity. Failing to do so means extinction. But beware, the cube can flip everything in an instant. As the world shifts, so do you. So, really, really interesting kind of setting. It seems like the world is going to be constantly changing around you, the world being the cube, that's going to be filled with diverse biomes, exciting quests, and hidden secrets. The cube is promising persistent progression, constant character development, and customization that rewards individual playstyles. They say even failure won't halt player progression. The combat is intense combat with tactical depth, dynamic battles with wide choices of weapons, skills, deadly enemies, powerful bosses, and strategic preparation. And then technology, an innovative split rendering system that transforms how motion is handled in interactive environments. The proprietary technology powers the dynamic world of the cube, enabling seamless transitions, intelligent object tracking, and multiplayer synchronization. It seems like you and other players are all going to be on this cube at the same time, and your environments, your enemies, and the world around you could shift massively. A lot of the kind of footage shows the cube kind of morphing or shifting as you're engaging in fights. Seems really out there, really cool looking, and definitely one of my most anticipated games of 2026.
Go and end a few arguments. Don't get cocky. They've got a weapon far worse.
Coming in our number one spot is Clockwork Revolution. Now, this game looks phenomenal, and it's definitely my most anticipated looter shooter for 2026. Now, this is being made by In Exile Entertainment, who made Wastelanders, Arcanum. They also worked on the original Fallout games, and they've recruited the combat and encounter designers from Bungie and Blizzard to come work on this game. Now, what is Clockwork Revolution? Clockwork Revolution is a time-bending steampunk first-person RPG from the creators of Wasteland and Arcanum. After stumbling across an incredible invention that allows you to travel into the past, you discover the city you call home, the vibrant, steam-powered metropolis of Avalon, which has been carefully crafted through the alteration of historical events. By traveling back to key moments, your interactions and choices will have a butterfly effect on the deep narrative-driven world and characters of Avalon, causing them to change and react in unprecedented ways. Now, Clockwork Revolution promises to have really deep character customization, weapon customization, build crafting, and skill trees. In an interview with Xbox.com, they talked to some of the lead level designers specifically about weapons and the combat systems, and I wanted to read some of that for y'all. From the onset of this project, we wanted to pay off the fantasy of being a steampunk inventor and tinkerer, and our weapon system is a major part of that. When you find a new weapon, it's a major moment, and that's because you'll have that gun for the rest of the game. When you upgrade your weapons at the Weapon Bunch, you'll have literally hundreds of different ways to customize them depending on the kind of player you are. The whole experience really makes the weapons the star of the show. We also have a bunch of cool gadgets, which are essentially steampunky grenades and deployables, which along with your time powers round out your arsenal. You'll have core time powers, such as the ability to slow down time, which you can use on enemies to slow them and their bullets, but you can also use the same power on your environmental objects to solve puzzles and avoid hazards. Reverse the same way, you can rewind cover objects in case enemies destroy them, but it also allows you to unload on someone and then rip the bullets back out. All of these things, gadgets, times powers, weapons, your stats, and even your apprentice are all part of a larger interwoven RPG system and skill trees, so there aren't just an unlock it and you're done component. They're all part of the journey of leveling up and increasing your ability to deal with the Ironwood threat. Clockwork Revolution is set to launch sometime in 2026. It looks fantastic. Very much gives me like BioShock Infinite vibes, which I absolutely adored, and it's being backed by Xbox as well as In Exile, which has a rich history of making RPG games. Should be one to keep an eye out for. Guys, this is going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what game you're most excited for heading into 2026, whether it's on this list or not, and if there's any games you think I should have included. I will catch y'all in the next one, guys. Take care. Peace.